I thought when you said, when I said vinyl, we'd be talking about records. Well, we are. Just wanted to show these quickly. I finally got a G1 Reading pony. That's what she looks like. I'm trying to collect them all. I don't know if she's the one that appeared in the Ponytails Reading episode. I'm going to have to check it out. I've got a G2 Reading Chapel, and that Reading Bride pony. If I remember, there wasn't actually a green pony. But anyway, I think there wasn't a G1, but it was kind of rare. I mean, this one came out first, and then you could buy them as a set or something. Mm-hmm. But I'm just interested in the Bride.
Hello, mate. All right, mate.
And yeah, the Ponytails was still G1, wasn't it? So she might appear in the cartoon. And then I've got this is a Flatfoot. So this is Butterscotch. Right. This is an earlier one, as opposed to the concave feet.
They're all slightly different though.
This one's a Flatfoot, so I was kind of happy about that. And then these ones are ones I've had before. On to the records.
Is there some that are really rare? They often do.
Yeah. This one, I got all these records for about 15 quid. I've got another pile there that have covers. Mm-hmm. These ones don't have covers. There we go. And this one is actually a perfect example of the type of thing that I was going for. These are all 15 quid, which is a bit much. I got them from a charity shop that normally do like a deal on there's somebody there that always thinks the price is unfair, so I could have got it for a £5 or something if he was working, but I took a gamble and lost. So all these cost me 15 quid, but still. I've got another one of these. It's called the Crocodile Toothache or something, and I expected it. I was hoping it'd be one of these Christian records, because sometimes they can be a bit funny. I've got one called The Onion, or The Story of the Onion, or something like that, which is, I think you've heard the story, 3 onions in a bucket. One climbs out and dies of cancer, one digs his way out, dies of AIDS, one prays to God and becomes a billionaire. And I think the moral of the story is that it's easier to do things with a bit of help. I think he gets help from the humans, something bloody strange like that.
Usual.
And it's got some preaching on the B-side, and it's quite funny sometimes. And this was called the Crocodile's Toothache, and I half expected it to be, go to church or you'll get a toothache, if you know what I'm talking about. Which of course would be hilarious, but it's not. It's some really strange kind of children's story, kind of told 4 times. As it says, story with music punctuation, story with music and sound description. Then you get like an extended sort of narrated version of the story, then you get all the sound effects. And of course this is a musical. I thought they'd made one. I thought it was some guy who'd kind of written a children's story, and I don't know, for some reason he decided to pay for like an audio record kind of version of it, and it didn't really work out because it was just basically the same story 4 times. It was a bit boring, but no, this is pretty much the exact same record, but this one's called the Musical Elephant, obviously.
Yeah, all different then. I suppose most records got a bit of a story behind them, haven't they?
Yeah.
Musical Elephants.
Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr., Me and My Shadow and Sam's Song. I buy most of these just for kind of atmospheric effect, when I'm what do you call it, when I'm writing or something like that. And these, of course, only last for a few minutes and then sort of take themselves off, as you probably saw in a previous video, or as you might have seen, my turntable only automatically takes itself off when you're playing 7-inch records, which is irritating. But, oh, that's interesting, double A side. So, Lies and Don't Drive My Car by Status Quo. A lot of these I just bought because they had interesting titles, or they just looked interesting. I mean, you just saw the story record.
I think that's worth trying.
A lot of the covered ones I saw weird foreign classical things, like a Rolling Stone and Gates of Eden by Bob Dylan. That's quite an interesting one. When it was first released, I think as a radio promo, it was actually released over 2 sides because they couldn't fit it onto one side. And yeah, it says 6 minutes.
We'd have to turn it over and finish it off.
Yeah, it says 6 minutes and 5:48. So they obviously figured out how to get it on by the time they probably released it to the general public. Yeah, but the first one was kind of double-sided.
Yeah.
And I think the radio station only therefore played like the first half, but there's one radio station that constantly played the whole thing. You obviously had 2 copies and you just mixed them together.
That's a clever idea.
So I thought it was kind of interesting. And I've got my first ever Bob Dylan record. You know, I'm a huge fan. My first ever Bob Dylan record kind of looked very much like this. He was from a Break 6 and positively 4th Street, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
But he looked very much like this. He even came without cover, so that kind of brings back memories. And this is Dr. Hook.
Oh yeah.
Sylvia's Mother, which I never, ever, ever see on 7 inches. Always, you know, Give a Little More, whatever that song is. It's something on a Capitol label. Never see any of their earlier stuff, and I certainly never see Sylvia's Mother, even though, you know, it was basically their hit.
Yeah. Strange, isn't it?
Yeah, but I actually found that, so that made me happy. This is a funny pony of a record, Donovan's The Universal Soldier.
Oh yeah.
This is side 1, The Universal Soldier and Ballad of a Crystal Man, and then the B-side is, it's an EP, Do You Hear Me Now and The War Drags On. I didn't know it was an EP. I've got some which are kind of double A-sides. It's really strange. This is just Johnny Faith, Johnny Comes Marching Home and Made You. I think I've got an Adam Faith record which I really like, which I was given. I'm not sure if it's Adam Faith, but 50p. Status Quo. Yeah, this is the sort of thing I'm talking about. Well, this is actually a double B-side. Roll Over Down, Roll Over Lay Down, there it is. And then you got Gertrude, Della and Junior's Railing on the B-side.
So you tend not to hear the B-side very much, because DJs always play the A-side, don't they?
Yeah. B-sides are pretty cool. Peaches, I want to know, just out of morbid curiosity, if this bears any resemblance to the Pusa track. Peaches, you know, the Presidents of the United States of America and Go Buddy Go. I've got a green record, which is The Ghost of Love by the Stranglers, and I really like that. So, I had a few Stranglers records, but I just saw Peaches and I thought, I wonder. But I doubt it, because I think they're kind of more of a disco sound, whereas Pusa was more of a rock sound, wasn't it?
What, the Stranglers? They're not disco.
No, they're.
They're punk, they are.
Yeah, I'm thinking about something else. Okay, I don't have Ghost of Love by the Stranglers. I do have an LP by the Stranglers, but still,
yeah,
that would be an interesting one to listen to.
Golden Brain, that was another single they had out when a Golden Brain. That was about heroin, wasn't it?
Probably.
It was lovely also. It was one of the very few records that was ever in the charts, and it was in 7/4, which is a time you said like 4 beats apart. 7/4, and I think there's a couple of the Pink Floyd brought one out called Money, and that was in 5/4, 7/4. And the Stranglers one, I think it's Golden Brain. That was in 7/4. It's very rare. People can't dance to it.
I've got a free record that was in 7/4. I can't remember. It's a one-sided thing, and you know they had like a set of box of records in this record shop, and they're all individually priced. And there was this one that said free.
What, three beats in a row?
No, just free.
Oh, free.
Yeah, so he said, okay, I'll have that for no money. He goes, okay, ka-ching, sale. I think I bought something else as well, but me and my brother got one each.
Oh.
I don't think it's anything famous, but I know that's in 7 Times because my brother heard it and said, "Oh, it's in 7 Times." That's probably why it was free.
The other one, that was Dave Brubeck, and it was a single called Take 5.
Oh, was that in 7?
Yeah, 7. No, it's in 5/4 time. That is, yeah. Saxophone.
I know that's very famous,
Yeah,
isn't it? It's
yeah.
got the middle part which just goes on dun 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 dun.
That's in 5/5.
Yeah, my grandmother gave me that record and we played it, and he said it's got some like random drumming in the middle when the piano's going.
That's right.
And she said the only reason that drums there is so that you know that the record's not stuck. Absolutely, but and she was serious. She was like, she actually reckons that's why the drumming's there. It makes perfect sense because it goes on for about 5 minutes.
Yeah. I think it all comes back in again because it goes
Yeah.
off at 5/4 at a tangent.
Very strange record, but really good.
And I think the idea of that is so when everyone comes back in on the same time, because it's quite easy to lose 5/4 time, isn't it? Yeah, that's Dave Brubeck, so you know that one.
Yeah, I
Take
know that
5. Yeah, but Stranglers, that's in 7/4.
I don't know. I might have it on the LP. I've got their like.
Yeah, listen to it. It's called Golden Brain.
I think I do have that. I've got it like their famous LP or their
okay.
live LP. I don't know. I picked it up. It's in awful condition. I played it. It didn't appeal to my sense of humour at the time, so I never played it again. But I've got it somewhere. So
Yeah, if you listen to the words, you think it tends to, in the tense, it sounds like a bloke singing about a woman. But if you listen to it, it's definitely about.
you're not thinking about that Andy Warhol thing.
No. Definitely Stranglers.
Match of the Day, and this is what I'm talking about. This is side A, and it's got both Match of the Day and Pigeons by Genesis. Then the B side is one track, Inside and Out. I'm sure I've got more like that, which is just unusual. Normally, if you've got a double, if you've got 2 songs on one side, it's a B side or it's both sides. But
Yeah.
rarely do you have 2 songs on one side. But then Genesis were a funny pony, especially in 1977, especially their Christmas stuff.
Yeah, that was with Phil Collins, and what was his name left, wasn't it? The singer left.
Jack and Tell the Children. I wonder if I can get the. No, I can't. Jack and Tell the Children by Sham 69. I have the Hurry Up Harry record, and I love that.
Yeah.
I actually went into. No, it wasn't. I knew what Hurry Up Harry, the title of that one, but I got that Matthew song. Hey Matthew, are you watching TV? That thing, and. I didn't know anything about it. I heard it on Radio 2, and typical Radio 2, they didn't tell you what the title was or anything. And I didn't tape it. And then I went into the record shop the next day, and I said, I think I said Michael, it's Matthew, but I said, do you know a 1980s song called Michael, and it's like about watching TV? And he went straight and got this Hey Matthew record from the thing and gave it to me and said, I played it, and I said, that's one. For Christ's sake, and I got this Sham 69 thing at the same time, but I think I knew the title of that. I think I saw that on like one of these Top of the Pops 2 things, and I liked it.
Knew his music then, didn't he? Straight away.
Yeah, I thought that was quite impressive. But I thought, yeah, I've never heard anything else by Sham 69, but I thought that might be interesting. And Jethro Tull brought this because he was on Island. This is kind of a semi-mistake. It's Living in the Past, which is like a Chrysalis. It's got the Chrysalis logo there, and of course Island was a division of Chrysalis at one point. I think they were both owned by Virgin, or both owned by Richard Branson anyway. And yeah, I know they did a record on the MGM label. It was the first thing they ever did. It flopped, and I don't think their name's spelt right. I think it's like Jethro Tull or something like that. No, Jeffrey Pull or something like that. Anyway, it's got some spelling mistake. I don't know if every copy's like that. But I saw it on like one of these rock documentaries, and I'd like to get that. It's on the MGM label, and I didn't remember. I just saw it wasn't on Chrysalis, and I thought, hey, that's a record. And it's nice. This is Living in the Past, which is clearly like one of their most famous albums, which I have. And it's just on the Island label for some reason. Maybe it's an early copy, maybe it's a re-release, maybe it's foreign, I don't know. But that's the old Island label, obviously.
Next bundle.
Yeah. Wallop. Of course, these, this is another good example. and I actually took my tripod out so I can take them out and show you them. Good example of the sort of thing that I was going for. Il Clown and Il Silzengia. I was going to actually Google translate these titles, see what it meant by Ninny Rosso. No idea what it's going to sound like, but that Il Clown in particular just appealed to my sense of humour, so I thought, yeah, why not? This was kind of semi-brought in error as well. I thought that this was a track listing, and it's not. That's a track listing, so it's just random. It's in very good condition, this particular one, but it's just random opera snippets, I think, which isn't too interesting, but it's unusual to see a green Philips label, so at least I got that. I got a nice green Philips label. Kool and the Gang. I don't know if I've got any Kool and the Gang. Probably got one of their LPs or something. Probably got the LP of this on, in fact. It's not something that I'm a big fan of. Victory and Bad Woman.
That didn't chart, I don't think, that one. That didn't get a chart.
Not.
It's not one of their famous ones, so that might be quite a rare one.
Yeah, probably. The Key by Ken Dodd. You know what I mean. Ken Dodd. This thing, it just had an interesting title. The only Ken Dodd record I know, I think, is The Tears, and is it Memories on the B-side? Or is it If or You, or something like that? I don't know, but I know Tears is one of the songs. And Remember I Love You. They had a few Ken Dodd ones, and this one's called The Key, which I thought was a jolly interesting title for a Ken Dodd record. So I thought I'll buy that and see what it sounds like. I think I've got an LP of his, but it's like one of these bloody Ronco or Hallmark things that just has random things in it, and I don't really listen to it. I might have a record. I might be thinking of Clive Dunlop. I really don't know. The Sandpipers with Gantamane. I thought that was an interesting word. That's the only reason I brought it. What Makes You Dream, Pretty Girl. Going to Sleep. But that's by the Sandpipers from 1966, so that might be kind of funky on the old Pi International. I thought it was a different colour to that. I've got that was the label that did Popcorn. I thought it was like a bluish colour anyway. Diamonds in the Sand. I thought this was my dad's favourite thing, but it looks like really short. I don't know if it's going to pick up, but you can sort of tell that the grooves are quite far apart on that one, indicating that it is quite a short one. And the one that my dad likes is and there's a Heartache Following Me, so either it's an edit. They did that really annoyingly with Wandering Star, the from Paint Your Wagon. The LP version is brilliant, but the single version is edited down to less than half its length, and it's really crap. It's this kind of song you kind of have to get into. You put it on, then you kind of have to sort of sit back and get into it, and it's really nice. And you can't really do that in like 2 minutes. You need the full 5-6 minutes, which is the LP version. I don't quite know why they did that, but they did.
That's got an advertisement on the back of that one.
Oh yeah, it's got the one of those older advert
common
things for a hairdryer. That looks like a blinking donut thing. It's another hairdryer, unless it's all hair product, isn't it? It's basically for that hairdryer. The fastest, quickest, sweetest way to dry your hair. For £3.17 and 6. £3.17 and 6, or £2.9 and 6 for a hairdryer or saloon pad.
Oh dear.
That is actually for it would have been in the 60s. Anyway, I might have had a hairdryer like that actually. I might have had that exact hairdryer.
Probably.
I might have picked it up from a car boot sale with the interest of undoing it when I was a kid to see how it worked. I do recognise the design. Anyway, maybe it was a popular hairdryer on account of it being on the record sleeve. Salute to Glenn Miller with At Last, Jeannie with the Light Brown Hair, American Patrol, Little Brown Jug, Serenade in Blue, and is that the one I'm thinking of? I don't know. I can't sing it, and Strings of Pearls on the Avenue label, so he won't be, I think he'll probably be by that Sam someone or other. It doesn't actually have a credit of who actually performed it, but I think they had like one person, the Sam something or other band, and he did like soul hits, and he did a lot of records like this that had 3 tracks aside, and he did some LPs like soul hits like those Music for Pleasure or Top of the Pops type records. I think it was Sam somebody and his strings or something like that, but he was very much in that Top of the Pop style, you know. They kind of tried to imitate the original sound and failed dismally, but sometimes it was actually better than the original sound in my opinion. That's from Beverly Hills Cop. I don't actually remember liking this song, but I do love the film. I know I don't particularly like the song from Beverly Hills Cop 2, the one that plays at the that's Glenn Frey, the one that plays on at the start, but I think this one, I wonder if that's the actual theme tune, the down 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 down. If that is, that'd be pretty cool. Always wanted one that was on this label. It's a BBC label, but it's an old BBC label. It's kind of silver, and it has this funny pony of an E on the label for some reason that I can't quite figure out. Oh, it's BBC Enterprise, stands for Enterprise, doesn't it? It's a Henry VIII Suite. It's got the Reading March on it for some reason, which is from the Midsummer Night's Dream, I'm sure. So yeah, Reading March, and it's got a couple of other things as well. But always wanted something that had this weird silver BBC label, just to see what it sounded like. I think this was before, it says BBC Radio Enterprise London. I think this was just before the you know, BBC Enterprise, you know, BBC Record and Tapes and all that kind of came about. I don't know though. You know, I know there was a bit of trouble because they're not supposed to sell things. They're not supposed to have adverts, any kind of moving advert, and they're not supposed to sell things, and they kind of found a way around that with BBC Enterprise and To Entertain and all that bullshit. And I don't know how they did the moving advert thing. But I know there's some kind of law against it. They always get around it. I think it's cheeky when they sell things. I think based on the way the BBC is funded, the fucking Red Dwarf and all that sort of thing should be in the public domain. It shouldn't be copyrighted, least of all to the bloody BBC. It should be copyrighted to Grant Naylor Productions, in the case of Red Dwarf. And in the case of Only Fools and Horses or something like that, it should be copyrighted to the maker. But yeah, they're bastards, aren't they? So what can we say? Diana Ross, Where Did We Go Wrong, and My Old Piano, which I thought was an interesting title for a song. Tchaikovsky's Sleeping Beauty. I went past this one because the Sleeping Beauty music isn't that interesting. But then it's on this label, and they actually had a copy of the Brahms Hungarian Dances, which is a record I had when I was a kid, and it is absolutely bloody great. It's got sort of a pink cover, and it's on this label, and I think it has 1, 2, 4, 5 and 6. Check it out if you find it, because it is absolutely brilliant, especially if you play it on the wrong speed as I did as a kid, because it spins at 33. And I always assumed it span at 45 because I couldn't read the damn label. So, you know, I got used to the sort of fast Pinky and Perky sort of version, which is kind of interesting. But on either speed, it sounds absolutely great. And this is ballet music, so I thought, well, if this is done, I don't know what the no, it won't be Ron Opera Orchestra, I don't think. I don't know who you know, who actually performed the Hungarian Dances record. But if that's done in the same style and it's ballet music, that could be interesting. So I couldn't leave that alone. Funny Pony of a Foreign record. I cannot read that. That's another one with 2 tracks on the A side and 1 track on the B side though. Largo, Somewhere Main, and Grant and Guttenich. I think that's Spanish, isn't it? I think that's night. Good quality cover. And I thought, yeah, why not? It could be, as long as it's not that Spanish sort of guitar music, which I kind of don't like, that sort of traditional Spanish music. Another Kendall. This is the River Lee. There's something in here. And Someone Likes You. Very easy listening, wasn't it? So I don't know, it kind of sounds ballad. This one I already have. It's Daddy's Home and Shaken All Over, but I absolutely love it, and I don't know where it is. And this is in absolutely awful condition. So this was a bit of a waste of money, but so I more or less got this for free anyway. So that's the way I see it. He gave me the last two for free, basically, for 15 quid. I'm not going to bother with the other quid. Mendelssohn, I thought that Findler's Cave sounded interesting, and it's quite a long one. So, you can see the little outro thing is quite small. And same on that side, so it's just an overture to the to the Herberize, or whatever the hell that is. But it's called Fingal's Cave, which is just the sort of, it sounds like just the sort of record I like to listen to, just as I'm starting to write or something like that. Kind of this cave atmospherical thing. This is the God knows what. Another foreign thing. Record looks like that. It's a Micro Gravy Longue Durée. Don't know what country that's from. So like I said, sometimes a kind of traditional, like either French or Spanish music. I don't particularly like that, or Irish music. I'm not kind of into the dubliners or anything like that. And we're almost finished. Piano Rivera. I like piano music. This one's on the HMV label. Back looks like that. Label looks like that. And the vinyl is a little bit kapoofed. I think I might do some washing up when I get home, and I might not. Depends what mood my turntable's in. And then this one, Mendelssohn's. I don't know why I got this. It's probably because it was the first classical thing. Cornish Rhapsody and Warsaw Concerto. On the old Decca blue label. There's a Decca triangle middle, as you can see. It says extended play there. Sometimes it says it around there, doesn't it? I thought normally the actually I had a Max Bygraves EP that was blue, had a blue label. And I'd like that back because it had like it had Gilly Gilly Awesome Pepper and Lollipop Tree and a few other songs. I think I got an LP, like a double LP, which might have been on the Decca label, but it only had 3 of the tracks. And the same thing happened with a Burl Ives record. Had a Burl Ives record as a bloody kid, which broke. And I actually managed to get a copy, but without a cover. But then, before that, I found an LP of his, and it had every track on the EP apart from the bloody Lollipop Tree. It had the other bloody tracks on it, and that was annoying. And that was back when I think Philips released all of CBS's, everything that CBS released in the States, or Columbia, I think, was released to Philips over here in the 50s. So the EP was on the Philips label, and was obviously a British release, and had the scariest cover ever. But I didn't get the cover. And the second time around, anyway, I don't know if I still got the original cover. And the LP's like a old Columbia, that old American Columbia label from the 50s. Anyway, that's all I got. That hopefully gives you a bit of insight of the sort of records
Got a lot of insight, isn't there?
Yeah.
I'm just going to take these back off a quick wee, alright?